Hello students, my name is Tehseen Sheikh. Welcome at Nagesh Karajgi Orchid channel. Today we are going to study Geography chapter 3 Drainage. So students, before we start lesson, already we have learned some important concept of this lesson number 3. So first one, let's start with revision. Lesson number 3 drainage. In this point or in this lesson, we are going to study drainage basin, drainage system in India, Himalayan river and Peninsula river. So when we discussed about the drainage, meaning of drainage is most important part. Now drainage means what? Drainage means when large area drained by single river and its tributaries, it is called drainage basin or drainage system. When we discussed about some important river or major rivers, main river with its tributaries, they drain one particular area from source of origin to the destination, and that whole area is called drainage system or drainage basin. So already we have learned the term of drainage basin and water divide. Water divide means what? When two rivers are flowing and that separated upland area or middle part of the area, they separated from these two rivers. See here on the diagram, stream 1 and stream B here, and this upper portion of water divide is separated this stream A and stream B, and this upper portion is called water divide. So water divide and drainage is clear. And when we discuss about our Indian rivers are classified into two major parts. First one Himalayan rivers and second one Peninsula river. Himalayan rivers source of origin Himalayan mountain, and Peninsula river source of origin Peninsula plateau. Himalayan rivers are very important river because is flowing totally perennial rivers. Length of rivers compared to Peninsula rivers, length जो है वो ज़्यादा है. So in Himalaya major 3 rivers are there: Indus river system, Ganga river system and Brahmaputra river system. And on the Peninsula rivers major 6 rivers are there: Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Narmada and Tapi. So Himalayan rivers are important because it's a totally perennial river, but Peninsula rivers seasonal rivers. The length of Himalayan rivers are more and Peninsula rivers are short comparing to Himalayan rivers. Himalayan rivers, they having lots of tributaries, but Peninsula rivers compared to Himalayan rivers, they don't have more tributaries. And in the Himalayan rivers, when we discuss about the Himalayan rivers, they form deltas, waterfall, means many landforms on the way, but Peninsula rivers are short, so that's why they not formed landforms on the way. So see, when we discussed about our India or Indian map, major Indian map, some Himalayan rivers are here. First one our Ganga river here, from here to here it is called Ganga river. Second one Indus river and third one Brahmaputra river. Okay, so Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra major Himalayan river, and see here Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri and Mahanadi, and here Narmada and Tapi. These are located in the southern part, so that's why it is called, originated on the Peninsula plateau, so that's why it is called Peninsula rivers. See, the term drainage already we have learnt. Water divide means what? We have learnt already. The features made by rivers. See, on the upper portion rivers, they form waterfall, tributaries. In the middle course they form marsh, oxbow lake, meanders, and on the lower course rivers are formed deltas, estuaries and river mouth, and lastly river is terminated or discharged in the ocean. So these all the landforms made by single river with its tributaries. Okay, so already we have learned this point also. See, drainage system in India. In Indian drainage system controlled by the broad relief feature of the subcontinent, means northern part of the subcontinent, it is called Himalayan part. Major rivers, they are originated on the Himalayan mountain, that's why it is called the Himalayan rivers. And when southern part of India below Tropic of Cancer, all rivers they are originated on the peninsula plateau, so that's why it is called peninsula rivers. So see Indian rivers again: Himalayan, Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. And peninsula again divided into two part. Rivers they are originated on the peninsula plateau, but they are flowing western side. Narmada and Tapi, they both are going western side and discharge in the Arabian Sea. And eastern flowing rivers, they are also originated on the peninsula plateau, but they are flowing in the eastern direction and they discharge in the Bay of Bengal. So Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri and Mahanadi, they are flowing in the eastern side and they are discharged in the Bay of Bengal. And Narmada and Tapi, these two rivers, they are flowing in the western part and discharge in the Arabian Sea. Let us see these all rivers in detail. See the difference between Himalayan river and peninsular rivers. So the originated form or Himalayan rivers, they originated in the glacier, but here the peninsular river, they are originating on the plateau area. So their Himalayan rivers source of origin glacier means continuously water supply. So these Himalayan rivers, they are perennial, but peninsular rivers, they are originated in the plateau area, and plateau is rain shadow area. So that's why these peninsular rivers, they are not perennial or non-perennial rivers. This Himalayan rivers catchment area is very large, but on the peninsular river, the river catchment area is very small. In the Himalayan river, the erosion activity and the depositional activity is more, and on the peninsular river, the low erosion and low deposition activity. Example: Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra, and on the peninsular river, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri are the example of peninsular river. So this Indus river already we have learned, but see the short main points. Indus river origin on the Manasarovar in the Tibet, China, and its near about 2% part is under China and 3% part in India, and remaining 95% part in Pakistan. So Indus river is the longest river in Pakistan. 2900 kilometer total length of Indus river, but 2200 kilometer it's flowing in the Pakistan area, and only 700 kilometer it's flowing in our India, in Jammu and Kashmir and Punjab area. When we see the map, see here main Indus river with its tributaries. First tributary Jhelum, here Chenab, here Ravi, Bias and Satluj. These four rivers with Indus river, it is called Punjab. Pan means fire and Jab means water, and these 5 rivers, they are flowing through the Punjab, that's why it is called Punjab. Rivers, see, listen again: Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Bias and Satluj. These all rivers main Indus river, and these all are tributaries of this Indus river, and that's why it is called Punjab. And this river, see here near Mithankot, it's entered in Pakistan and discharge in the Arabian Sea. See here, ये देखो यहाँ पे अगर आपको देखोगे तो समझ में आएगा. ओरिजिन हियर इन द तिबेट, एंटर्ड गिलगिट इन इन जम्मू कश्मीर. यहाँ पे अगर आप देखोगे, एंड हियर नियर मिठानकोट इट्स entered in the Pakistan, and it's the longest river in Pakistan. And Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, these two oldest civilization flourished in the Indus River Valley area. Why? Because Indus River Valley area is provide fresh water, and due to that Harappa and Mohenjo-daro flourished in the Indus River Valley area. See here, Satluj, Bias, Ravi, Chenab and Jhelum joins Indus river in the Mithankot area and flow in the south direction and discharge into the Arabian Sea. Total length 2900 km and is the longest river in Pakistan. See Harappa and Mohenjo-daro civilization. Now second one, Ganga river. When we discussed about the Ganga river, Ganga is the holy river because all the temples of our Hindu Sanskriti, they are located on the Ganga river bank, and Ganga also originated in the Gangotri glacier in the Himalaya. So जहाँ पे हम गंगा की बात करेंगे, it's the longest river in India because it's fully from origin to source is totally flowing in our India only. So see here, Ganga, its origin part. Here two head streams are there, Alaknanda and Bhagirathi, and when that Alaknanda and Bhagirathi confluence, it is called Ganga river. Here second image here, that Alaknanda and Bhagirathi, they both, the confluence of Alaknanda and Bhagirathi here, and here the Ganga river started. Here see the Ganga river in the upper portion. अगर आप देखोगे, here also in the upper portion is a glacier part, and Ganga river is reached in the Bay of Bengal. See the drained area of Ganga river in the map. Here in the Haridwar Gangotri glacier, origin point of Ganga river, and Ganga with its tributaries Yamuna, Betwa, Chambal, Tamsa, Son. These are the tributaries which are coming from southern side, and northern side Ghagra, Gomti, Gandak, Kosi. These are the other tributaries which are joined this Ganga river from northern side, and Brahmaputra river also joined the Ganga river in Bangladesh. So Ganga river's total length, when we see, the two head streams are there, and Ganga is totally glacier or ice covered areas river, and Bhagirathi and Alaknanda, two main head stream, and this Alaknanda and Bhagirathi, the confluence is near the Devprayag in Uttarakhand, and from there Ganga emerged and it's totally flowing through the mountain area. See here, Devprayag in the Uttarakhand. See, the headwater of the Ganga is known as the Bhagirathi, and that Gangotri glacier joined by the Alaknanda at Devprayag. Ganga, it's lots of tributaries like Ghagra, Gandak and Kosi, and some peninsula plateaus tributaries are also there. Yamuna is the longest tributary, and with that Betwa, Son, Chambal, these are also tributaries of Ganga river, and Ganga joined the Brahmaputra and flowing in the Bangladesh, and the confluence of this Ganga and Brahmaputra, it is called Meghna in Bangladesh. See, the Ganga river and Brahmaputra river, these both rivers, they formed largest delta in the world, and it is called Sundarban delta. Now already the term delta we have learned in the 7th standard. Delta means what? When the river carry lots of deposition and is deposited on the flat area, the reverse channel created on that particular place, and it is called delta, and that delta Ganga and Brahmaputra, these two rivers, they form largest delta, and it is called Sundarban delta. And Sundarban delta, it's famous for Sundari trees and famous for white tigers. When we see the PPT here, see, white tiger species are found in this Sundarban delta area, and first image Sundarban delta. See the Sundarban delta here with the Sundari trees, and the length of this Ganga river 2500 km, and is totally flowing in our India only. See here the Sundarban delta, Sundari trees, and here white tiger of the Sundarban area. See basic information of Ganga river. Now next largest river, it's a Brahmaputra river. Same Brahmaputra also originated in the Tibet area. See here in the China, and is flowing in the eastern direction, and when it's come here in near Namcha Barwa, it's take U-turn and entered in our India. अगर आप यहाँ देखोगे, it's flowing in the Assam and Arunachal Pradesh area, and Assam and Arunachal Pradesh area in our India famous for rainfall. Heavy rainfall is occurred in this Assam and Arunachal Pradesh area. So that's why with glacier and heavy rainfall area, Brahmaputra river received lots of water, and see here it's confluence of Ganga and Brahmaputra here, and they form that delta. See, it's a source of this Brahmaputra river in the Tibet, near Tibet Mansarovar. It's flowing the eastern direction near Namcha Barwa. It takes U-turn and entered in the Arunachal Pradesh area. Two tributaries are there, Dibang and Lohit, and is from riverine island, and that riverine island is called Majuri riverine island. See the Brahmaputra here, it takes U-turn and entered in our India. The Brahmaputra river, it's a famous for lots of deposition, and they deposited silt and they form the Sundarban Delta. See, now next part we will discuss about the Peninsula River. So major Peninsula rivers, see, eastern flowing and western flowing, Narmada and Tapi, they both are flowing in the western direction. So that's why western river, and Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri and Mahanadi, they are flowing in the eastern direction. That's why it is called eastern river. So first one, these peninsula rivers, Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna and Kaveri, eastward direction and drain into the Bay of Bengal, and Tapi and Narmada on the western direction, and they form the estuaries. And the drainage basin of Peninsula River are comparatively small in the size of the river. See, first one, Narmada River. Narmada River, the origin place of Narmada River in the Indian map in the Madhya Pradesh area. मध्य प्रदेश के अमरकंटक में इसका ओरिजिन होता है, एंड इट्स फ्लोइंग इन द वेस्टर्न डायरेक्शन, इट्स फ्लोइंग थ्रू द मध्य प्रदेश एंड गुजरात एंड डिस्चार्ज इन द अरेबियन सी. सी द नर्मदा origin in the Amarkantak hill in Madhya Pradesh is flowing in the western direction, and Narmada basin cover part of Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat, and Narmada is very short river, only distance of 1300 km of this Narmada river, and major tributaries of Banjar river, Barna river and the Tawa river, these are the tributaries of Narmada river. And when we will see these two images, Narmada river, it's flowing through the marble rock, and Dhuladhar forms also formed by this Narmada river. See, the rising in the Amarkantak hill, Narmada flow to George in marble rocks of Madhya Pradesh, and is formed due to faulting this Dhuladhar fall also here. See, next one, Tapi river. Same Tapi is flowing parallel to the Narmada. When we see here the Narmada and same parallel Tapi also flowing in the same direction. See here, river Tapi length 724 km. It is covered most of the part of Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Maharashtra also, and Tapi river is flowing with the tributaries Sabarmati, Mahi, Bharatpuzha and Periyar. These all the main west flowing rivers are there, and Madhya Pradesh Tapi flow through the basin and cover Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Maharashtra. See, next one, Godavari. Godavari, it is also called Dakshin Ganga, longest river on Peninsula Plateau. When we discussed about the Godavari river, origin of the Godavari river on the Nasik district, Trambakeshwar, it's a origin place of Godavari river, and it's covered Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Orissa and Andhra Pradesh, and discharge in the Bay of Bengal. The main tributaries are there: Pranahita, Purna, Vardha, Manjra, Vainganga and Painganga. These are the tributaries of river Godavari, and because of its length and it's drained most of the part of South India, it is also called Dakshin Ganga, and Godavari drain into the Bay of Bengal. See here on the map, Godavari river, its origin place in the Nashik, Trambakeshwar, it's flowing through the whole Maharashtra, and longest river in South India, so that's why it is called Dakshin Ganga. See the river's length near about 1465 km, means 1500 km length of this Godavari river, and this is the catchment area of river Godavari. And here the name of the tributaries: Pravra, Painganga, Indravati, Purna, Vardha, Pranahita. These all are the tributaries of the Godavari river. See here in the Maharashtra, 694 km area, 767 km area in Andhra Pradesh. Telangana is covered 653 km area, and in the Andhra Pradesh it's covered 114 km area. So see, next river, Mahanadi river. So Mahanadi river is also originated on the Peninsula Plateau area in the central part, and when we discuss about the Mahanadi, Chhattisgarh and Odisha, these main two states covered by this Mahanadi, and length of the river 858 km, 858 km area drained by Mahanadi. See, Mahanadi, it's 860 kilometer long and it's originated or rise in the Chhattisgarh area, flow through the Orissa and reach in the Bay of Bengal. And Mahanadi river, it's shared their area with Maharashtra, Odisha, Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh. So compared to our Godavari river, Mahanadi is very short, only 860 kilometer, and its origin place in the Chhattisgarh and flowing through the Maharashtra, Orissa, Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh. See on the map here Mahanadi, and it's the discharge in the Bay of Bengal. Mahanadi from here to here. Okay. See next one, Krishna river. So Krishna river, it's again peninsula river. When we see the map here, Krishna river originated here in the Mahabaleshwar area and is flowing in the totally western direction, eastern direction, and discharge in the Bay of Bengal. See length of the Krishna river 1400 kilometer. It's a origin place near Mahabaleshwar and it's reach in the Bay of Bengal near the spring of Mahabaleshwar, and it's reach in the Bay of Bengal. The tributaries of Krishna river, Bhima, Musi, Ghatprabha, Koyna, Tungabhadra, these are the tributaries. When we see the catchment area of river Krishna, see origin place of Krishna river and with its tributaries they drain the most of the part of Maharashtra and is discharged in the Bay of Bengal. Next river, Kaveri river. Kaveri also, it's a peninsula river and origin place of Kaveri. See the catchment area of Kaveri in the map here, and some part of Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu through its drain in the Bay of Bengal. See the Kaveri is also called Kaveri in English and it's a origin place in the western Ghat in Karnataka. Length of the Kaveri river 765 kilometer and it's a origin place Brahmagiri range of the western Ghat, and the Kaveri reaches the Bay of Bengal at Kaveri Pattanam and sharing the basin with Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Means this Kaveri river flowing through the 3 states, origin place in the western Ghat of Karnataka and flowing through Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, and last one is discharged in the Bay of Bengal. So students, clear? Now in this textbook also we will discuss about the role of the rivers. Now why rivers are important? Because rivers are very important for water transportation, for cooling, for cleaning. We are drinking water in our daily life. So rivers are very important because it's a source of fresh water. And when we discuss about the river pollution is the major problem which we are facing in India. When we discussed about the Ganga river, then Indus river and some south rivers. So that rivers are continuously polluted by human activities, like we are throwing garbage, sometime chemical wastage or industrial material in that river basin area, and that's why rivers start to pollute. So we want to conserve that river water. In this lesson also next part is related to lakes. Lakes are also source of fresh water, and lakes are classified in the 2 part on the basis of the water, जहाँ पे fresh water lakes and salty water lakes. Now fresh water lakes means what? The source of water is totally fresh. The salinity is not found in the fresh water lake. Water is pure water, and salty water lakes means salinity is more in the salt water lake. Let's start with some example, discuss with some example. So in the Kashmir, Ular lake, Dal lake, these are the example of fresh water lake. And when we discussed about the salt water lake in our India, Sambar in Rajasthan, it's an example of salt water lake. So lakes are also very important because when lake is found in that surrounding area, we can develop a tourism sector. We can use that lake for water transportation. Then lake water is very we use that lake water in industrial sector, in agriculture sector. We can construct dam on that lake or on the river, and we can use that water at the time of draft or at the time of summer season. So That's why lake and rivers both are the very important source of fresh water. Next important thing that rivers, now why rivers are important. So students, can you tell me why rivers are important? Yes, कौन बताएगा? Yes, rivers are important because it provide fresh water. Second one, rivers provide water transportation system. We can generate electricity through fresh water or through river water, and it's a good source of water transportation. So these all factors are very important, and that's why rivers and lakes are important. And how we control the pollution in the river basin area. So first one, when we are throwing that garbage or some chemical wastage in the rivers, so we want to stop these all activities. We want to clean the area of that river basement area or river area, so we can control the water pollution. And when we discussed about the pollution control, or the Indian government, they launch many activities or many schemes to clean the river or mostly conserve the river water. And conserve river water होने के बाद obviously automatically we rivers provide fresh water to us. So already we have learned about these all points. Lessons, lesson number 3 drainage we have completed now, and as a homework you write down your notebook in the notebook. So as a homework you have to write first important thing, explain the Himalayan rivers in detail. Explain Himalayan rivers in detail. Second question, explain the role of rivers in Indian economy. Explain the roles of river in Indian economy. Next question, explain the difference between or distinguish between Himalayan river and Peninsular river. You have to write the difference between Himalayan river and Peninsular rivers. Okay, already we have learned this point here. See the difference between Himalayan river and Peninsular river. You have to explain this point on the basis of size, catchment area, example, and their characteristics of that particular rivers which are originated in the Himalayan or Peninsular river. Next one, write short notes. See, first one, you have to write short notes about the Godavari basin. Second one, Krishna basin. Third one, Kaveri basin. Fourth one, Mahanadi basin. Explain the term in detail. It's a lake. And last point, explain in detail river pollution and how to control river pollution. Okay, so lesson number 4 we will discuss in our next lecture. Thank you.